Hello everyone, welcome to Legacy IAS Academy. From past few days, we have been seeing Indian students who are struggling in the territory of Ukraine. Because of the Russian invasion, Indian students are not able to return home. And there are various reports where students are being asked to come to the borders of Poland and Romania, from where Indian government is carrying out its evacuation process. Why is it happening? There are news reports that are being said that the students are walking with -1 degree temperature with all their luggages. Okay, this is the state of Indian students, medical students to be precise, in Ukraine. And in this video, we will see why are Indian medical students in Ukraine. Let's see the context of the discussion. Medical student from Haryana refuses to leave Ukraine. Okay, here the important thing that needs to be focused is the medical student is from Haryana. Why is Ukraine such a popular choice for Indian medical students? Small town India's aspiring doctors now trapped in war zone. Remember this term, small town India's aspiring doctors. I will tell you in couple of minutes why is this term, small town India's aspiring doctors, important. Okay, this is the context, and here in this image you can see students, exodus of students who are leaving Ukraine and trying to return home. What is the state of medical education in India? Why are Indian students moving abroad in search of medical education? We are a country of around 135 crore population. In spite of such a huge population and government being responsible, why are we not able to provide medical education to our aspirants? India has 542 government and 270 private medical colleges. Okay, and we also have 64 PG institutes, that is for the post graduation, and all these medical institutions are regulated by National Medical Commission or National Medical Council. Remember, we just have 542 government and 270 private medical colleges in India. Government seats are limited to 76,000 per year. Okay, government seats are limited to 76,000 per year. It is said that there is one medical seat in India. There is one medical seat for 1 million population. That is, for 10 lakh aspiring doctors, we just have one medical seat. This is the shortage of the higher education facility that the India is facing as of now. We have 12.68 lakh registered allopathic doctors and 5.65 lakh Ayush doctors. What is important from the prelims point of view here is that the allopathic doctors are greater in number when compared to the Ayush doctors, that is Ayurvedic doctors. 90,000 MBBS and close to 50,000 BAMS doctors are passed every year. Every year 90,000 MBBS, that is allopathic doctors, and 50,000 BAMS, that is Ayurvedic doctors, are being produced in India. In spite of this huge number, we are facing the shortage of medical personnel in India. If professionally trained and qualified Ayush practitioners are taken into account, then we have 1.2 doctors for 1,000 population. For 1,000 people, we have 1.2 doctors. But what is prescribed by the WHO? WHO has prescribed you need one doctor for 1,000 people. But if we combine allopathic and Ayurvedic, then we will have 1.2. But only with the allopathic doctors, we have 1.7 doctors per 1,000 population. This is a very important data that you need to remember when you are writing the state of medical institution or the healthcare in India. This, if you quote this example, okay, if you quote this example, it will be a very great value addition to your answer. Now let's see the core issue. Why are people going to Ukraine? First thing that we have seen, we have shortages. Here I would like to consider or classify this into push and pull factors. Okay, you must be very familiar with the push and pull factors for inflation in your economics. Okay, let's have the same framework and try to analyze the push and pull factors for the migration of Indian medical students to Ukraine or any of the Central European country as such. First one, limited number of seats. Okay, government seats are somewhere around 90,000 in government colleges, 90,000 doctors that we are producing every year. 100 seats for 1 million population. This is what we have seen. We have very limited capacity. But when it comes to Ukraine as such, there are plenty of seats available. Expensive private education. Okay, in India, we speak about commercialization of education. If the primary education is fine, then the higher education is very expensive. But what happens in the Ukraine is Ukraine has state-run universities. Okay, Ukraine has state-run universities which will charge nominal amount of fees and will provide quality education. This is one of the reasons. This is a pull factor when it comes to the migration of students from India. The third one is the average cost in the private college in India is around 50 lakhs. For 5 years, management quota, it would cost 50 lakhs in India. But in Ukraine, it would cost 15 to 20 lakhs in state-run universities. That is the reason why instead of going through a private college in India, parents would prefer their children going to a state-run university in Ukraine, which would also cost them very less. And when it comes to the admissions as such, okay, we have also done a video on Tamil Nadu passing something called as anti-NEET bill. Okay, if you have not watched this video, I would recommend you to go to Legacy IAS YouTube channel and watch this video. What is the controversy behind NEET? Why is it is said that NEET is discriminatory? NEET is being said that it is discriminatory and it discriminates poor people. Why is it being said that way? Okay, in order to understand the background and the anti-NEET bill, the provisions of the anti-NEET bill, I would recommend you to go and watch this particular video. NEET is the examination, it's a national level exam and it is a medical entrance exam for any of the medical field, for example for MBBS and also for Ayurveda, that is Ayush, which is also called as BAMS. NEET is mandatory in India, but the case in Ukraine is completely different. Ukraine will carry out the admission process based on the marks that the candidate obtains in his 12th standard, that is second pre-university course. Okay, and it does not have any kind of entrance examination as such. This is the reason why a small town people, with the help of education loan, they are able to afford the medical education in Ukraine, but not in India. Okay, I think you have understood this. And after they study and come back, they will have a very good reputation when it comes to their relatives and also friends, and they would be called foreign return. As they have completed their studies abroad, they would be given more respect. This is the mindset that the parents and also students have when they go out and carry out the higher education. But the situation now, it's very different. We have somewhere around 20,000 Indians, 20,000 Indian students. We have around 20,000 Indian students in Ukraine who are stuck. Now the Indian government recently, in few hours, 4 cabinet ministers will be in different countries which border Ukraine in order to carry out the evacuation process. Okay, the central government has given the orders that the 4 ministers would be leaving to the bordering countries of the Ukraine in order to make sure that the evacuation process is safe. What are the issues involved when it comes to the education, that the medical education abroad? This is the particular exam which is called as FMGE, Foreign Medical Graduate Exam. This is the exam that after finishing medical for 6 or 5 years, if that particular person comes to India and if he wants to start the clinic or if he wants to start practicing, he has to go through this particular exam and he has to be qualified. He should qualify this particular exam. And it is said that every year around 20,000 people write this exam who come back from Ukraine, and only 700 managed to clear this exam. This is the pass percentage. This is the pass percentage, and there are issues about quality of education in abroad. There are issues of quality of education when it comes to Ukraine as well. That is the reason why out of 20,000 candidates who take up this exam, only 700 will manage to clear this exam. And if they don't clear, rest who do not clear, take it around 19,000 students who cannot clear FMGE, they would have European credit transfer system with which they can easily move to Europe, any of the European country, and settle there, start practicing their medicine in European country. Okay, this is the advantage of having a degree in Ukraine. And what are the implications of this? India would get more doctors because we will have somewhere around 20,000 students who are studying in Ukraine every year. They would come to India. India would get more doctors, but the issue is not about the number or the quantity as such, but the issue is with quality. Okay, quality is the issue, because we have seen out of 20,000 people who take up the exam, the qualifying exam, only 700 will manage to clear. Then what kind of doctors are we expecting? Doctors are supposed to deal with lives every day. There is no room for error. There is a zero room for error. Okay, in this case, what kind of doctors are we expecting? What kind of healthcare system we will have if all these doctors are inducted into the practice? And this will be this kind of diaspora where Indian students are studying in Ukrainian university would be the backbone for India-Ukraine relationship. You have seen recently the President of Ukraine has requested Indian Prime Minister to have talks with Russia or to mediate the talks between Ukraine and Russia. That is the standard of or the backbone or a strong relationship that India and Ukraine will share in future if this particular issue continues. Next one, Indian diaspora in EU. You have seen if they fail to clear the exam, then they would get free entry to the European country. They would get an entry into European country and they would settle in Europe. And because of this, we can have remittances over here, remittances, and also Indian diaspora in EU is increased. This can be used as a soft power when it comes to diplomacy. Next one is the brain drain. This is the disadvantage. Disadvantage is a brain drain that is happening. Our quality students are being studied. They are studying in Ukraine and they are moving out of India and they are settling in Europe and North America. This will set a very bad example in the future generation. We would lose our quality doctors and this will result in brain drain. And in order to solve this issue, yesterday Honorable Prime Minister said that expand the medical education in the country. Okay, after seeing the state of students in Ukraine, Honorable Prime Minister came up with a statement telling he has invited the private players and also requested the state governments in order to provide effective land and also to have the ease of doing business and set up the private medical colleges in the state so that the Indian demand is met. Indian demand for medical education is met. This is something that you should know, and if the state government start working in this regard, then in the next few years we might have more doctors coming out, passing out from Indian universities and not the universities abroad. Let's see the question now. Discuss the state of medical institutions in India and examine the factors responsible for exodus of students to Central European countries from India. This is a purely GS2 question from your IR point. Okay, state of medical institutions in India. You will have to deal with the health sector in this, and we have discussed this. You have to talk about the demand for the medical seat, and also you have to talk about the availability as well. We have seen 1 medical seat for 1 million population. This is the ratio that is there in India. This is the state of health medical institutions in India. and examine the factors responsible for the exodus of students to Central European countries. We have talked about two kind of factors, that is push factors and pull factors. If you explain this, it would be more than enough. And if you can incorporate a diagram of Central European countries or the Ukraine and Russia for that matter, it would be great. This is how you add value to your answers. I hope you have liked the video. For more such enriching content, please subscribe to Legacy IAS Academy. Have a nice day. Thank you.